Hey folks, this is Kalani. We have a new event starting up this week to help bridge the gap between now and the next big content patch and Season 2 of The War Within. The Turbulent Timeways event lets you get some high item level gear for very little effort. You can get up to item level 619 raid gear basically for free, which will be the last chance to get some easy gear before Season 2 rolls around. You can also use the event to quickly level up any ults you may have left behind. There's a brand new Buzzy B mount to collect, and there are other changes to other time walking rewards as well. Let's go over how you can nab some easy high item level gear and make the most out of this special time walking event. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. Let's kick things off with the good stuff, that free item level 619 heroic raid gear. The Turbulent Timeways event will last for 7 weeks and it's going to bring us back-to-back time walking events. We'll work through each expansion one at a time, starting with Mists of Pandaria. We'll progress through the expansions up until Legion, reset down to Classic, and then finish up with Cataclysm, so every time walking event will be available over the next 7 weeks. That also means we're going to have 7 weeks of the Time Walking Weekly Quest, which usually rewards you with a piece of normal raid loot, but that reward has been increased for this event, so it will now reward you with a piece of heroic raid loot. Now the cache will say item level 610, but you can actually get any piece of loot that drops from any boss from the Nerebar Palace raid on heroic mode. Heroic loot starts at item level 610, but the later bosses can drop item level 619 gear, so really, this box contains a minimum of item level 610 gear, but it could be quite a bit higher depending on the item you get. If you get really lucky, you can get one of the very rare items that are item level 626 on heroic mode. Raid gear in general can also just be very powerful. You can get tier set gear, some of those very rare items we just mentioned are also incredibly powerful. Certain trinkets from the raid are heads and tails above the rest, and it's always nice to get one of those high item level weapons from the later bosses. So you can get some really good gear from these weekly quests. 7 weeks of time walking means 7 heroic raid pieces of gear, which can cover half of your character's items, so this is a huge opportunity to gear up any characters that you have sitting at lower item levels. Getting 5 time walking dungeons done in a week to complete that weekly quest is also super easy and quick these days. Most runs are going to take 5 to 10 minutes, and sometimes they're even faster than that. Now you just have to hope you don't end up with 7 cloaks in a row from your boxes. Remember that any armor pieces you get from these caches can also be popped into the Catalyst, either to turn it into tier set gear if you get a tier slot item, or to change the stats and the transmog of any non-tier set item. So you can use this as a chance to get some higher tier set gear, or maybe unlock some extra transmogs for the heroic and mythic versions of your Season 1 set. What's really cool is that because this gear is heroic raid level, you can upgrade it and earn the mythic versions of the transmog as well, so you can double up on transmog unlocks that you wouldn't usually be able to get without clearing the raid on those higher difficulties. It's also important to note that certain time walking events also have raids attached to them, like the Black Temple raid being available during TBC time walking, or Ulduar being available during Wrath of the Lich King time walking. These time walking raids are relatively easy. Each boss usually drops item level 597 gear, and there's a special weekly quest for the raid that rewards you with another box of 610 gear as well, so whenever one of these time walking raids is available, you'll have some extra chances to gear up your characters. This will be the last big chance to get some easy gear before the new season starts with patch 11.1. It's not just about free easy gear though. Taking part in the Turbulent Timeways event will earn you the new Timely Buzz B mount. Getting your hands on this cute little critter is also super simple and will basically be automatic if you're working towards those special gear boxes already. All you need to do is complete 4 time walking dungeons in a week to get your character the Mastery of Timeways buff. When you first complete a time walking dungeon, you'll get the Knowledge of Timeways buff, which increases your experience gains from quests and monster kills by 5%. For each extra dungeon you run, you'll get an additional stack of the buff, increasing the bonus experience by 5%, and then at 4 stacks it will become the Mastery of Timeways buff, which increases your experience gains by 30%. This is the one that you're going to need for the Timely Buzz B mount. You need to get this buff in 5 different weeks of the event, so basically you just need to run 4 time walking dungeons per week for 5 weeks. That's it. If you run time walking dungeons to get your weekly quests done, you'll already be getting your buff passively, so the only thing you'll need to make sure you do is hit that 5-week requirement, and then you can fly around on a brand new Buzzing Bee mount. Now, because this buff increases your experience gains and you can stack it up to 30%, this event is also a great time to level up any ults that you may have been putting off. Maybe there are a couple of stragglers that you didn't want to level during the anniversary event, or you were maybe just working on other stuff. Whatever the case may be, the Turbulent Timeways event offers you yet another chance to quickly level up your ult army to get them ready for Season 2. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen the Turbulent Timeways event, and they usually have some unique rewards like the Buzzing Bee mount, but if you missed the last event, you don't have to miss out on the special mount rewards either. You can buy the Sandy Shale Wing mount from any time walking vendor, so it doesn't matter which event is currently active. The mount will set you back 5,000 timed warped badges, but hopefully you've managed to save up quite a few from the anniversary event. It's also important to remember that most of the time walking event vendors have some new rewards to pick up as well, and with every time walking event being available over the next 7 weeks, that means every event vendor will be available too. Getting through every time walking event usually takes about 6 months, so this event will give you the opportunity to buy all of those shiny new rewards in a significantly shorter window. So be sure you pop by each time walking vendor as the weeks roll by and see what rewards you might be interested in, like some new transmog, toys, or pets. We might not see some of these vendors again until halfway through the year, so just keep that in mind. The Turbulent Timeways event is going to last for 7 weeks, so you'll be able to get up to 7 pieces of heroic raid gear from those special weekly caches, but if all you're interested in is the new Bee mount, you'll have 2 weeks spare, so to speak, as you only need to get the special buff for 5 weeks during the event, so you do have a little bit of leeway there. But perhaps the most important part of this schedule is when it ends. The Turbulent Timeways event will run until February 25th, and with the bumped up rewards available during the event, I doubt the new patch or season will start up until after this event ends, so the earliest patch 11.1 could release at this point is on February 25th. We also have the Plunderstorm event thrown in there as well. That starts up on January 14th and runs until February 18th, and that event would have to end before the patch arrives too. And then to add into all of this scheduling, the dev team released a testing schedule for dungeons and the new raid on the PTR. That testing has already started, the PTR is up and available for patch 11.1, and the dungeon testing is going to last for 6 weeks, so that should end around February 18th, and then the raid testing is actually all being crammed into January, maybe to give them enough time to change stuff in the raid if they need to, or we may see that raid schedule spread out a bit further because it does look incredibly busy right now. Either way, the testing schedules also point towards a potential release date for patch 11.1 being around the end of February, so we should see the next major content patch for World of Warcraft in about 7 to 8 weeks time. That is still a good chunk of time without a lot of brand new content to sink our teeth into, but I guess that's why we have 2 special events to try and bridge the gap. You can spend some time in the Timeways or plundering your way to various new rewards in Plunderstorm, or maybe just check out something else before patch 11.1 finally goes live. But that's how you can get your hands on some very easy high item level gear to help prepare for Season 2 of The War Within, and how to get every other reward from the Turbulent Timeways event. So that's it for this video. How do you feel about the Turbulent Timeways event returning, and what are you going to be focusing on as we head into patch 11.1 and Season 2 of The War Within? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.